Hello, hello, and welcome to PD in Your PJs. I'm so excited to be here with you tonight for our grade level series. Sophia has great ideas to share with you tonight. I do want you to know that you will hear me talking now. We are recording the session and we will email it to everyone afterwards. It'll come to you in an email, but even more importantly, we'll share the slides. We'll email those to you later and we'll take questions at the end. So be thinking of some things you want to ask Sophia as we go on tonight. Quick introduction, I'm Julie. I'm just out of the high school ELA classroom where I was a teacher for 18 years. I'm now on the teacher community team at Seesaw. You can find me on Twitter at EdTechJulieJ, so go ahead and give me a follow because I share lots of resources. Then, of course, you can connect with all of us on Seesaw on Twitter at Seesaw. Now, I do want to tell you that tonight's webinar is not necessarily for getting a class set up or just getting started with Seesaw. So if you are brand new to Seesaw, I wanted to make sure you had some resources for you. We have 2 more brand new to Seesaw for grades pre-K through 2 webinars still this month in January. So look at our calendar and sign up for one of those sessions if you want. You can find our calendar at web.seesaw.me/PDs, or you can watch a recording of that webinar already recorded and ready to go anytime. And you can see that link there at the bottom of your screen. So if you are really new to Seesaw and you just need to get your class set up and you need to hear about all of that, check out all those resources that I have linked there on the screen. Now remember, you can't click on those links during our live webinar tonight, but you'll receive them in the slides later, and you can click on those for those resources and to take you to those links. Okay. So we're here tonight with Sophia for second grade favorites. Hi, Sophia. How's it going?
It's going great.
I'm going to switch presenters so that you can be in charge, and then I'll mute myself and you can take it away.
All right, can you see my screen?
Yes, we can. You've got it.
All right, let me just go past your slides here real quick. All right, I'm so excited. Second grade teachers. I am a second grade teacher. This is my 7th year teaching second grade. Before that, I taught preschool. I was also an ELL resource teacher. So many different things have gone on in my career that I think have prepared me to maybe teach second grade forever. I do love this grade. I love this age group, and the things that they can do always surprise me every single day. I have a lot to share, and if I don't get through all the slides, you're going to get the slides, and all the links are live, all that good stuff. You can always connect with me. My info's at the very end. I am a second grade teacher in Des Plaines, Illinois. This year I have one-on-one iPads in my classroom. I was a pilot teacher for one-on-one iPads. This is my 3rd year with iPads. Before that, I had Chromebooks and only so many in my classroom. And then I also started the pilot program with 4, 5, 6 iPads, depending on which year it was. So I am familiar with having one-on-one, but I'm also familiar with only having 3 or 4 devices in a classroom. So hopefully I can answer some of those questions for those of you that have that same setup in your room. So I'm going to start with literacy first. I'm going to give you some really quick ideas on how I use Seesaw in the classroom. Simple things that I do to maybe some app smashing things to some Chromebook users who said on Facebook that they would like to hear some ideas for that too. So hopefully I cover it all. So let's start with this. This is our informational text features. I'm not sure if you are familiar with Poplet. It's an awesome website/app. It is free and you only get 10 Poplets, but here's the trick. If you delete the Poplet that you created, you get that number back. So let's say you're on Poplet number 5, you've created it, you've taken a screenshot, you've put it into Seesaw, you can go back and delete all the things that you put on that Poplet and you can get back into it. So there's your free tip for the day about Poplet. I use Poplet as a formative assessment for anything that I use with a graphic organizer. So if you can see right here in this picture, this was informational text features. What the kids had to do was they had to take a picture of the feature that they found. So this one's a photo in an informational text. They took the picture, they had to label it to tell me which one they were looking for. I put the activity link here. I believe in the activity link, I only ask for them to do 4 photos. Sometimes I have kids that just can't stop and they want to do them all. So again, you can change the activity link and customize it to whatever it is that you would like. For those of you that are new to Seesaw and you're not sure what I'm talking about with an activity link, when you click on this, it will send you to right here, informational text features. Here's the save activity button. If you click on this, it will save it to your account. And it's already created. You see all of my words in there and all of that good stuff. That's what you're going to get. And you can have your kids do that activity tomorrow. So simple for you to use. It also is available on Chromebooks, which is great because I know the Chromebook people, when I start talking about apps, they get so frustrated that it's not available for them. So great idea with Poplet. Use it for anything that you would love for a graphic organizer. So here's a second one, character traits. This is great because in my guided reading groups, my library is Fontes and Pinnell, if anybody uses that, leveled. So it's A through Z. So I have kids reading at all different levels. And the only time that they're required to get a book that is on their level is when they come to the guided reading table. So sometimes I have students who are at 3 different levels in my guided reading group, reading 3 different books, but we're still working on the same skill. So for this one, it was character traits. And what they did was they simply took a picture of a character in the book. They used the label feature, and they had to write the character traits about this character. And again, quick formative assessment for me. Were they paying attention to the book? Did they know what was going on? The nice thing about it, it's already differentiated because it's asking everyone to do the same thing with a different leveled book possibly. Again, here's the activity link. You can click on this. You can do this tomorrow. It's all set and ready to go. So nice, quick, and simple. And again, this could be done with a Chromebook, and this can be done with an iPad. Simply a picture of the page, and then the label feature. Sight Words and Fluency Friday. So I have made these centers independent, and it has changed my life. I spent so much time sitting with students, testing them on sight words every week and testing them on a fluency passage every week. And so what I did was I decided to make them independent centers with Seesaw. So what I did was we took the Fry sight words, and because we thought that 100 words for first grade, even if they were broken down into lists of 25, was overwhelming for them. So we took each list and we broke it down into, in second grade, they're broken down into 10 words. And so we labeled it 2A, 2B, 2C, all the way, I think it's through 2J. And that is all of the words for second grade. What the students do is that they take a picture of the sight word list that they're on. So if I test them and they're on sight word list 2C, they'll take a picture of those sight words. They will then practice them during the week. And when they feel like they know them, they can hit the record button and then they record themselves. The nice thing is that I get to go home, sit in my pajamas, and I get to grade their sight words just listening to their voice without having to spend my class time with that. I'd rather spend my class time one-on-one with students who would benefit from that. So it's really great, simple, easy. It takes a little bit of training for them to make sure that they get the list number in there and all the words in there. But once you get going, it is amazing. And they're rocking the sight words like nobody's business. The nice thing is, too, is that this is linked to their journals, obviously, and parents get to see it. So parents see when they've passed the next list and they're able to move on to the next list and know which list they should be studying. Same thing with the fluency. I do Fluency Fridays, and on Fridays they get a fluency passage. This one happens to be from reading A to Z, and again, it has a letter at the very top in the corner that tells me what level it's reading at, differentiated automatically. So I will tell, let's say it's Johnny and he's on list M. He would go to the book, he would take a picture of list M, he would practice this fluency for the whole week. Now, I used to do it 2 different ways. So some people do a cold read in the beginning of the week, and that's recorded. And then at the end of the week, a hot read, technically, because they've been practicing it all week. It's up to you. But again, I get to take my computer home, and I get to grade this, and I write in the comments how many words per minute, how many errors. I get to write in the comments, great job, you get to move to the next list, or hey, let's try this again. I also tried something new this year, which was great. It is a reflection sheet that the students fill out, and they get to decide what it is they feel that they could do better on the next time they were to record. So it's rate, punctuation, accuracy, all of that good stuff. And then they set them a goal for themselves. And so it's great for me in the comments again to say, I love that you met your goal of rate. Way to go, to be practicing again in the comment field so that when parents see it, it's good to go. Really simple, quick and easy, but has changed the way I spend my time in my classroom, and I really do enjoy it. This activity link is very generic. It just says, make sure you take a picture of your sight word list, hit the record button when you're ready, and that's it. Reading A to Z books. I get a lot of questions about this, reading A to Z books. Reading A to Z books can be downloaded into Seesaw. When they are downloaded as a PDF. PDF means that you cannot use the writing tool on it. And I'm going to tell you how I get around this. So let's say that I have a group of students, again, who's reading at 3 different levels. What I love about reading A to Z is that sometimes they have the same book at 3 different levels. So I can download it to each one of the students' groups. And then when they open it, it's the PDF version so that we can read it. And you have to download it as a single-side book. It's in my notes, but of course I'm forgetting to say that. It will download as a PDF, but what my students do, because I have an iPad, it's a little simpler, but you can still do it on a Chromebook. They take a screenshot of the page that maybe is answering the question. So for example, in this one, maybe where do these worms live? And they said, this is where earthworms lived, and they were able to use the drawing tool and circle about tunnels. Maybe they were answering the question about when do they eat? They come out at night to look for food. That's what they circled. You could also use the labeling option. Now, again, let me make sure I'm explaining this correctly. You cannot write on a PDF. The student would have to take a screenshot of the PDF, and then you could write on it or use the label feature. If you click here, which I will, so you can see, this is what a book looks like in Seesaw. So this is the Wiggly Worms book. And here it is, page 1, page 2, page 3, 4, so on and so forth. So they would take a screenshot of this page, and then they would be able to write on it. I hope that makes sense. I have a lot of questions come to me about A to Z books, and hopefully that explained how I get away with annotating on top of them. So other thing, graphic organizers. I love graphic organizers. I love that it's a quick way to assess students. I love that it's a quick way for me to find out if they're getting the skill. There's a large collection of templates and assessments that is on the resource page. It was created by 2 instructional tech coaches, and they have made it free to everyone. I think at this point they're almost at 300 slides, so please make sure you check that out. It's so great. Now they have a whole explanation on how to download this. It is in a Google slide doc. You have to download the slides as a JPEG or a PNG for your students to be able to write on top of it, or else it's just downloaded again as a PDF and you won't be able to do that. Again, 100% directions on there, so it will explain to you step by step exactly how to download this so that you can work with it. So again, quick and simple, the most magnificent thing. What was the goal? What was the problem? What was the solution? Students created labels, and they just typed right into the graphic organizer. Simple, quick, easy, fantastic. All right, let's move on to math. So I just think this is so ironic that I had a teacher just say on Facebook to me, does anybody know of any math apps or math programs that you can use in Seesaw? And this is my absolute favorite. It is free. It is an app, and I'm so sorry, Chromebook people. But I'm going to tell you a workaround that really helped the 3rd grade teacher because she loves this app as much as I do. So what it is a app that has manipulatives on it. I'll show you my iPad screen in a minute, but I wanted to give you an idea of what it is. It has all of these different manipulatives, but this one is about money. So the students are able to drag a quarter, a dime, a nickel, a penny over, and then they're either identifying the coins and adding them up. And as you can see on the right-hand side, a little bit more complicated, where they're writing the dollar amounts or the amounts of each amount of coin and then adding them all up in an addition problem. So the way that this happens is they do the work on the app. This is what's called app smashing. You create in another app, but then it is able to be screenshot or downloaded directly into Seesaw. This app in particular, I can screenshot, and then the students take their screenshot and they put it into Seesaw. So let me see if I can show you my iPad screen so that you can see what this looks like. So, oops, there it is. So this is the app right here, and it has money, it has hundreds chart, it has fractions, it has arrays, it has 10 frames, it has all of this great stuff. And I'm just going to click on my iPad so that you can see what the money looks like. And then you just go up to the top here and you click this add money button up here. And now all the kids do is they tap on whatever coins they want and they appear on their screen. There's a writing tool built right in, so they can write 25, 5, 10, 1, write the amount of money. They want to drag it to the piggy bank, it deletes that money, and there's an erase. Best app, most amazing app in the entire world. Again, the way that I get this into Seesaw is the students take a screenshot of this screen and then they put it into Seesaw. So they save it into their camera roll, and then they take it out of their camera roll and they're able to put it into Seesaw. I've had word problems. I've had them just give change, counting coins, all of that good stuff is included in here. So I'm telling you, if you have even just one iPad, you can, let me erase all of this so you can see really quick. You could just take a screenshot of the coins, put that into Seesaw, and then have them use the Seesaw drawing tool to be able to write on that. So that's how you can get away with it if you have a Chromebook. So I, again, love this app. It's called School Kit Math App. Get out of here.
Hey, Sophia. Real quick question. Sarah's wondering, and I thought this would be a good time to ask, do you know if that app has Canadian coins?
Ooh, great question. I still have it open. I'm going to look really quick.
Thank you. Will be good to know.
It does not look like it, but I'm not sure if I just am in a certain version. Like, I don't remember being able to click on it that says one thing or another.
Yeah, I mean, it might have some preferences or settings or something maybe that could set it.
Oh, yeah, the original screen is all American coins. So hopefully that helps her a little bit there.
Thank you, Sophia.
Okay, this is the second one. This is also from that same app. It is a hundreds chart. What I love about it is that the kids can tap and then they can count as they go on. So the question was 50 plus 27 equals 77. So they went 50, they counted 10, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, and they went on. They also used the labels instead of recording themselves to say, first I moved down 2 spaces or by 20, and then I moved 1 space to the right to count by ones. I put an activity link in here, and in the activity link is a template of a hundreds chart. So again, something quick and easy you can try tomorrow. Again, you take a picture of the template if you would like, if you don't like the one that I have, and your students can go ahead and do the same thing. Give them an addition problem and they're able to do it. Screenshot is all it took for me to get that in there. Simple and easy. I love this bundle, second grade Common Core Standards Word Problem Bundle from Teachers Pay Teachers. I put the link in there in case you want to purchase it. What I love about it is that she has the standard right here on the top of every single word problem. So this is a center in my math groups. My students go over and I download this into Seesaw, into their math group. And then what they do is they solve the problem. And because this is how I solve the problem has 2 lines, and we know that second graders write like they are 3 inches tall each letter. What they do is they record themselves instead. So they draw a picture of the problem, they write their number sentence, then they hit the record button and they record themselves and say, this is how I solved the problem. First, I took 81 and I added 16 and blah, 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 blah. And they get to do that. When you click on this, you'll see a student who solved this problem, and you'll be able to hear her and see exactly what I'm talking about. I just want to make sure I get through everything, so hopefully I'm not going too fast for you. Chatterpix, again, it's an app. I'm so sorry, Chromebook people, but the Chromebooks, the way to get around this is that the camera is your best friend on a Chromebook. Take a picture of something, even if it's just their face. Let them go into the drawing tool on Seesaw, draw hair, draw funny glasses, draw a mustache, whatever it is, and make their recording just as fun. This is simply a student who's counting by tens. All they did was go into Chatterpix. They created this out of the Chatterpix album, and they just recorded their voice. And what happens when that works is that you'll see that the mouth is
10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100.
Quick and simple, but again, quick formative assessments that students love to make anything funny and silly. All right, I'm going to move really quick through the tips and tricks. Julie, stop me if I'm going over, and we need to save some time. Lots and lots of people keep asking this question too. I want to record on multiple pages, or I want to record on multiple images. You can have up to 10 images in Seesaw, but your recording will only be on the first page. So to get around that, you can use different apps like Puppet EDU, Book Creator, Adobe Voice, which is now I think Spark Video it's called, to record on multiple pictures or pages. So hopefully those tips and tricks help you. If you only have a few devices, I only had 4 devices and I had 28 students. How do you get around it? You change your math groupings into centers, and you turn those centers into the tech center or the recording center or whatever it is you need. Have recording stations set up in the classroom, rotate in centers to complete exit tickets, use paper copies of exit tickets, then have the students take a picture when recording is available, and then they can record their thinking. So give them the time to be able to explain their thinking. It may not be all at once with 28 students, but make it a rotation. And again, some of these recordings are less than a minute or 2 minutes, so they will go quickly once you get going with it. Here is the difference between PDF and a JPEG/PNG. You can get Google Docs, Google Slides. It can be a single page or have multiple pages, but the audio is only on the first page. And on a PDF, you can add an audio and you can add a caption. On a JPEG PNG, which is an image, a drawing, a screenshot, you can add audio, captions, drawings, labels, and of course, all those other things that you get. So anything that is a PDF, take a picture of it, put it into Seesaw. It now has become a JPEG, and you have all those other options for you. Here is some taking photos on Chromebook ideas. So on my tables, there's two pieces of duct tape. Do you see them here and here? This is simply a crate. The students hang the clipboard on the crate. It is exactly the right spacing for their Chromebook or their MacBook. And the only thing they have to adjust then is the angle of the screen, and just to make sure that they get the whole page in, or if they're only looking for a little part. But this helps a whole lot of wasting time trying to get the best picture or hold the paper and not be able to hit the button. I don't know if you know this trick, but if you hit the space bar, it automatically takes a picture for you. So if kids can't reach all the way over here onto the computer to click the Seesaw picture button, you can do it with the space bar. The tape on mine is about 7 inches apart, but it'll vary depending on the size of your Chromebook. But I thought this was a good tip to share for those of you that are having some problems with doing pictures on Chromebooks, which again, with the littles, it's always hard to have one person available to take pictures and the other one ready to hold the paper. Drawing on Chromebooks, same thing. Wonderful tech person, I don't remember where I found them at. They gave me this tip of using a stylus, and it gives them better control when drawing on a trackpad. And I thought, there is no way my second graders are going to be able to figure this out, and they love it. You take the stylus and you just draw on the trackpad. They do have to push a little bit so that the trackpad, it has some pressure on it, but then they're able to manipulate a little bit better than just using their finger on the trackpad when they're drawing on their Chromebooks. So again, I hope that helps you too. Here's a quick, easy recording booths. All they are paper boxes. And all I did was put duct tape on them to fancy them up, give them a little color. And then I just showed this to you because I couldn't get a good picture of what it is. I put tap lights on top of them to show when the booth is in use, so that when the kids are walking past, they're not yelling and screaming because they know that somebody is recording. So the light on means somebody is recording, and to be quiet when you're walking past that area. These are the phones that I love. They're Native Union Pop. They're through Amazon. They're old school phones, but it's hysterical how these kids have never seen some of these before. They plug them in. You're able to record and hear. So I love them. They're great. I wanted to make sure that I talked to you about digital citizenship because whenever you're introducing lessons, especially with our second graders, we want to make sure that they are being responsible and that they are using commenting and blogging the right way. So again, here's some more tips and tricks. I did a PD in your PJs on blogging. I put the link here for the YouTube video. Here's the parent letter that I send home saying this is how we give comments in our classroom, and I would love it if you could start giving your students or your children comments when you visit our blog or when you visit their journals, and it's really helped a lot. There's an offline template too of the tag that gives them some practice before we do anything online with commenting. And again, simple, tell me something you like, ask a question, give me a compliment or a suggestion. And we always start our suggestions with, I wonder. We're not there to hurt anyone's feelings. We want to make sure that everybody feels that their work is valuable. Another tip, create a fake student. They're named Classroom Library. You can see here, Classroom Library, check out. When a student borrows a book of yours, you take a picture, you tag the student, and you tag the classroom library. When the student returns the book, you can delete the post when the book is returned, and then it's gone. What I love about this is that it dates it for me, so if somebody's had a book for quite a while, I can track them down. Parents get to see what kind of books their students are checking out of my classroom library, and it reminds me who has books checked out also, so that's another great one. Send digital newsletters with Seesaw. I love Spark Pages. If you don't know what this is, you need to check it out. It will make it so much easier to do your newsletters. So here's the newsletter. When the parents click on it, you just have to scroll up. And what's nice is those millions of pictures that I take all year long, they actually get to use them. So here was our September newsletter. Welcome to second grade. I'm scrolling. And as I'm scrolling, the picture is changing and we're getting new text about what happened this month, what we're doing in math, what we're doing in science, all of that good stuff. And parents absolutely love the interactive newsletter. So Spark Pages is what it's called. It's also related to that Spark video that I talked about before. Okay, I did so much talking. 275 slides that I talked about are assessments and templates. Here is the link right here for you. There's also a Google Doc that is filled with activity links by Heather. She's fantastic. Here's her link. And then, of course, the Seesaw Help Center, which would have all of the PD in your PJs that you would need to get started if you're brand new. I know that some of my ideas, and I'm talking fast, I wanted to get through as much as I could, but hopefully you take one link and you try it, and I'm telling you it's the best way to get started. Just jump into it and try one thing.
Thanks so much, Sophia. I want to remind people we still have a few minutes, and if you want to type in a question, you can go ahead and do that. I will remind you also as you're doing that, that after we conclude tonight, you're going to get something that pops up on your screen. It's going to be a survey, and we really take your feedback seriously, and we use that feedback to make our PD sessions better. So be sure to give us honest feedback. And then we actually randomly choose a t-shirt winner every week from those surveys. So make sure you take a minute to give us that feedback. Sophia, I do have a few questions coming in for you. You still have time to answer a few?
Of course.
Okay, so a lot of interest in the resources that you shared, of course. Jessica is asking where your fluency passages are from. Where do you get those? And maybe if it's something you can type in a link to in your presentation, then they will get that link later as well.
Absolutely. Or if she will send me something on Twitter or email so I don't forget about her. But they're reading A to Z passages. And I believe they are free through your Reading A to Z subscription. So I'm not sure if you need to have the subscription to be able to get those. I know our school does, but that's something to look into.
Okay, that's great that you brought that up. Reading A to Z is the name of that. Jackie is also asking a lot of workflow questions about that. We could see that you added the whole Reading A to Z passage or book as a PDF, and then you talked about taking the screenshots. Can you just say where you get that from as a PDF to get it to Seesaw and kind of explain those steps for her?
Sure. Reading A to Z is, again, a subscription to they have different passages, different level books. And when you download one of those books, it gives you the option to do it as a print copy, or you can download it as a single page copy, which is what I recommend if you're going to put it into Seesaw. When you download it into Seesaw, it looks like I just had it. And again, that's when you can take the screenshot and put it in there. Now, what I do in my classroom, and I don't know if this is going to confuse you, what I have is I have folders set up for each one of my reading groups. So let's say I have reading group red, green, and blue. The red group is where I would download that book into. So only reading group red would get that book. Reading group green might get a different book, and so on and so forth. So they go into the reading group, not their journal first, to look at the book. When they take their screenshot, it goes into their journal.
Okay, that's actually great that you mentioned that, because I did have people asking about how you assigned those passages. Do you have anything to add about math groups? Have Annie asked about math groups?
Yep, I do the exact same thing. So I have 3, I call them fake students. I'm not sure what you want to call them when you put them in, but I call them fake students because what I do is I create a student called blue math group, red math group, green math group. And then when I have a template or something that I want the students to do, I just put it in for just that group. Now the activities has kind of changed that for me. I still have my groupings just so that I can give them information that's just specific to them. But I know in activities you can do that, you know, as far as who you want it to get it from and who you don't want to get it from. But that's how I handle workflow. Everything goes into a group fake student, and then the students pull from just their group.
That's really helpful. Dronica is asking if what you were using to show your iPad earlier was Reflector. Was that the app you were using? Okay. Okay, good eye, Dronica. I actually don't have many more questions coming in. Let's stay on for a couple more minutes. If you have a question, go ahead and get it typed in now before we conclude, and then you'll be on the lookout for the survey that will pop up, and then the slides, Sophia's slides that are just full of great links, and those will be coming to you in the next couple of hours. Sophia, I can tell you that the question box for the last 30 minutes has been full of compliments for you. So not much for me to answer, just a lot of appreciative teachers saying thank you for all of your wonderful ideas. We're getting lots and lots of positive feedback. So I just wanted you to know that people are being very complimentary.
You know what? When you love something that you do, and I love Seesaw, I think that I just keep finding more ways to use it. And I think that's the way to get started. Start with one thing. I started with the camera. That was it. And then I moved on to other things. So don't feel overwhelmed. Really, if I can do it, anybody can do it. I am always available on Twitter. Please email me if you have any questions, if I spoke too fast, if you want more information on anything. I'm really there to help you out. I know how overwhelming it can be to start something new, and I would really love to help you out.
Thank you so much, Sophia. This was just a blast tonight, and I learned so much too. Don't hesitate to reach out to Sophia or to us at Seesaw because we're happy to help. We're going to conclude tonight, but if we didn't get to your question or comment, just reach out to us that way, and we hope you can join us again sometime really soon. Bye-bye.